Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the comment show. It's February 11th, 2025, and it's 7:45 a.m., and your weather for the greater Quartzsite area is right now, it's 44 degrees. And let's take a look at what's going to happen today and tomorrow in the wind category. We got today be a little blustery towards middle of the afternoon. We break 10 miles per hour and peak at 14 by 5 p.m. Wednesday, it's going to be cloudy all day. Winds peak at about 14 miles an hour again. Then the next day, we have much stronger winds all the way up to 20 miles per hour. The clouds will break, though, to be a sunny day. Then Saturday, just barely breaking 10 miles per hour. Sunday looks good. Monday looks good. This is all, when I say look good, I mean wind-wise. And then we are back up. We got another bout of windy a week from today on Tuesday. It's going to bump up to 15 miles per hour. And then Wednesday, it looks like it's back down again. Temperature outlooks starting today with a high of 67. Tomorrow 62, then 66, 69, 71, 73, 78, 74, 75, 78, 79, 80, 82, 82, and 81. Those are the highs for the next 10 days, and the lows are between 45 and as high as 57. That's when in those 80 days it'll go up there. So that is going to be your weather in February. And I am going to jump right into the comments. How's that sound? It was things to consider before joining this life. Was the video we're commenting on now. And Coven says, great information, Rob. Thank you. RV Life says, great sunset view. Taking care of Dottie and George is the greatest consideration. That's what's so cool about your life. Then we have... what are we commenting on? The comments video. We're commenting on in the comments video. I love that. Vanlife Lifer RX. It's Chilly Willy and Kingman. And yeah, the elevation's quite a bit higher than here, isn't it? Dee Dee Cornell says, good morning, Mr. Rob, Dottie, and George. I found your video on Sunday night very helpful. That it means things to consider. Affectionate Aardvark says, I apologize. Okay, so this is a comment from the other day by this person who I had mentioned that I talked about my Starlink and how much it costs and various other things that I would just lost my grandfathering and I'm having to pay a little bit more. And there was a warning from this person about the power of the owner of Starlink and I should repent. And it didn't feel like a joke, and it felt a little threatening, but obviously I don't think they meant it that way. They came back and said, I said, I'm going to leave the comment out there. You can delete it, modify it, whatever. And I think they deleted it. I don't think it's there anymore. But they said, I apologize. And goes on to say, I know you're a counselor. Mine says when you apologize, just apologize, so I won't add a but and try to explain myself. However, if you would like some explanation to put your mind at ease, let me know. I don't really need an explanation. The fact that someone apologizes for something like that is good enough for me. I mean, heck, the vast majority of people don't find themselves capable of doing that. So I think a thing to consider for me and for everyone is when you comment, understand that tone of voice isn't conveyed unless you use emojis. And, you know, if that was a joke, a little LOL or a laughing character at the end would have changed the entire meaning of the thing. You know, we're living in times right now where people are pretty sensitive. At least I am. And it feels like it could be threatening in some ways. There's a lot of scare headlines out there that are making people nervous, especially elderly people. So that's enough about that. Cottywomple says, the repent comment, I think, was more of a political comment than anything. With Elon and Dodge, I think it was more to be funny than threatening, but you can't read intent in a post. Exactly what I said. Susan Jack says, first thing I do every morning, check the weather for the day, glance at the weekly weather, and adjust my plans accordingly. I have an inside and outside temperature gauge, can tell the wind speed, so to speak, but by my neighbor's huge American flag that probably flies in his yard. Going to be cloudy today, temp to get up to 60. No wind at the moment, South Valley, New Mexico. Really enjoy it. It says South Valley Albuquerque. South Valley Albuquerque. That's what that means, New Mexico. Really enjoy your YouTube channel. Thank you, Susan. On things, back to things to consider. The wife and I are planning a trip to Arizona from Pennsylvania, maybe next year. And I was wondering, did you do one-night stays at campgrounds while crossing the country, or did you sleep in rest areas or truck spots to save some money? Really, I did a combination. I really like Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel has dedicated RV slots in the back of their restaurants, and I like staying there. It's very RV friendly. Also, until recently, I was a Harvest Host member, so you can always get those places. But I don't have that anymore because I don't travel that much. I've never stayed in a Walmart parking lot. I came close once in Texas, and I was about to park, and it was so busy and noisy. It was like, do I really want to stay here? And I looked across the parking lot, and I could see a Cracker Barrel sign in the distance. So I just scooted over there and had a great night's sleep. Paul Owen says, hi, Rob. I watched your recent video, Things to Consider Before Joining This Life, with great interest. I wonder if you might elaborate a bit on medical emergencies while boondocking. I know Quartzsite has an air ambulance and ground ambulance service, so I wonder if there's an insurance plan one can buy short-term on Quartzsite for these services. By the way, thank you for your expert advice. Keep up your videos. Now, as far as the ambulance, I'm not sure about an insurance for that. If you have decent insurance, like, you know, it's going to pay for that. But the air ambulance is a different animal, and I have this. And I believe this cost me $79 a year. And this is for helicopter insurance, because you can get stuck with a bill that could drive most people into bankruptcy. I mean, anywhere from $10,000 to $60,000, $70,000. So it's called Air Medicare. And what you need to do, it's on the map there, it's got all those blue dots. Those are all their affiliate helicopter services all over the country. And I make sure where I'm staying, they have the helicopter service is on this. If I'm staying for a length of time. And so far, everywhere I'm staying in New Mexico, here in Nevada, the local helicopters are covered under that. So when you have that insurance, you're not going to get that big bill, and it's a good peace of mind. And I don't know if there's an insurance plan for ground ambulance. Like I said, most insurance companies, unless you haven't met the deductible, you're going to be charged for the insurance. I mean, for the ambulance transport. And if you're going to the ER, that's going to be maybe the least of your problems. It's been a long time since I've run an ambulance service, but it's when I left 10 years ago, and it was like there were levels of response for different, and you know what? Not only is it outdated, but I really can't remember. I'm thinking for the highest level of response, called ALS, where they give you medications and stuff and do certain procedures, I think it was like $1,000. But that's just the minimum charge in most ERs is $1,000. And if you have anything significant done at all, it's many thousands of dollars more. So anyway, I hope that helps. On cancer patient, becomes a paramedic. Ken Gray says, so glad she found what she wanted to do so quickly. Sometimes life just steers you in the right places at the right times. Yeah, absolutely. Jeff Engel, thanks your support is helping. Help is on the way. And this is on the Quartzsite Comments. Angela Johnson, good morning. Just wanted you to know you're much appreciated. Not only is this our first time in Quartzsite, it's a major change in our lives becoming nomads. As retirees, there are a lot of second guessing. Are we being foolish? Are we too old? I'm going to go no and no. This has been a great experience, and watching your comments adds an enjoyable and informative consistency to our daily routines. Thank you. The people that I camp with here are all, between 5 and 10 years older than me. I'm 65. Look at Rusty 78609, and he's 80, and he just sold his RV, like he's quitting RV life. But those of you that know Rusty know that could change tomorrow. He's still very active and energetic. Ken Gray says, good comments and maybe some bad ones. Enjoyed today's call. Yeah, there was one, I think. JB says, Elon is not going to lower the price, but he may shut it down for more money. I don't know what that means. I talked about Starlink is very expensive now. For the roaming, it's $165 a month. But there's slowly but surely, there are other companies putting up satellites, and they're going to duplicate that. So that competition will force prices down, I would think. That's what generally happens with competition. Am I an economist and an expert? Hell no. Let's see. And I will point out that they've lowered their prices on equipment. Starlink has, for sure. They just did a big discount on the high performance dish. They took $1,000 off it or something. So they haven't reduced monthly prices. Mine's gone from $99 a month all the way to $165 in 3 years. It's a lot. It's almost double. Pete Diaz says, hands down the best information video for me in my near retirement plan. Also, what a beautiful desert evening. You have the life, my friend. Yeah, it was. I think I'll do more of those. If I do a talking video, I'll do it right around sunset with the sunset behind me. I think that's an added benefit to watch the beautiful Arizona sunset while I'm talking. Win Gypsy says, hello, I'm a soon-to-be nomad shooting for October 2025. Can't wait to not have to pay attention to the time and date. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. My Medicare starts August 1st. No Advantage plan for me either. I'm going to go Medicare and Supplement too. Yep, Plan G is the best. I'm going with a high deductible Plan G. I'm pretty healthy, but I want original Medicare due to travel. I can't wait. The other benefit too is when you have a supplement, it's strictly Medicare rules. If your doctor thinks you need a test, it gets approved. With Advantage, then the rules shift from Medicare to whatever rules the insurance company has for pre-authorization, specialty referrals. They have their own experts that determine whether your procedure is medically necessary. I didn't want anything to do with any of that, so that's why I'm playing. And what they're talking about is a high deductible Plan G. Is just a little bit more deductible, but still it's Medicare making the decisions. See you along the way. Oh yes, I had both hips done at the same time. Wow. It was a piece of cake. I had an awesome surgeon. I can't even tell they're not my own. I can run and skip and jump. Amazing operation. Good luck. The first 2 weeks were tough, but if you prepare, you'll be fine. And I think I'll be fine, especially if I might stay, depending on what the surgeon says. If he says I'll be fine in the trailer, I'll stay here. And my commute is from that bed to the bathroom over there to here to work. So I think I'll be okay. Deep discount at groceries at AJ's. An old video. A traveling girl said just started Following your channel. I really enjoy it. Well, thank you, Traveling Girl. Thank you so much for, oh, guess what? What happened? Oh, here we go. Roger, that 9521. I'm sure this is a stupid question, but what do people do in smaller spaces with stinky trash? I'm not sure about leaving it out at night or what animals might get to it. I'm not in an LTVA and don't want to drive into town all the time. Thanks for the videos. Appreciate you. Well, it's not a stupid question. I think it's a great question. All my trash goes into, you can see a bag hanging on the wall there. That's all. That's it. It just goes into the bag. It doesn't stink. I don't think I have any stinky trash. But some people do it differently. I have people that take their pet waste and they have like metal cans that are outside that are sealed that they put the pet waste in. I guess, you know, there are people that, you know, if you have an enclosed pickup truck bed, you can put garbage in there until you're ready to go into town. But I think, you know, the best thing would be, you know, tightly sealed plastic bags are going to keep the stink out. And the question is, do you have anywhere to store them? You don't want to put plastic bags outside. The coyotes will dig into them and there'll be trash everywhere. And there's probably a fine if they catch you. I have no idea, but it wouldn't be good. So Reno, hey Rob, I've been watching your videos for quite a while now. I turned 65 last September and now retired. I have learned so much from you and love following you around Quartzsite. I bought myself a 2025 Class C, congratulations, to discover all the U.S. has to offer. It's always been a dream of mine to travel. I was to do Route 66 in June and then come down to Quartzsite in November to pass the winter. I'm a Canadian from Canada, and most Canadians feel they would not be well received there. So unless things change, my dream of seeing the U.S. will be put on hold. Sad part is I was looking forward to it, and it's out of my control. I will continue to watch your videos every day. Best of luck with your hip surgery, my friend. All right. There are a ton of Canadians down here every single year. There's a huge concentration of them in Laposa North, because I see there's an area with a ton of Canadian flags. I'd say one of the closest friends that I have here in Quartzsite for many years is Jim. You might have seen him on my past videos. He's Canadian. There's a guy right next to us here is from Canada. It's very common to have people from Canada down here, and I mix with conservative, liberal people all across the political map, and I've never heard anyone say a negative thing about our Canadian friends. I just haven't experienced it. I'm not Canadian, right? So maybe there's experiences that Canadians have that I don't know about, but I really doubt it. I think, I hope you're just not reacting to the news and politics, but people love Canadians. Yeah. I grew up, I was born in Strong Memorial Hospital in Rochester, New York. And as the crow flies, if I go due north from that hospital, you'd hit the Canadian border. It's right on Lake Ontario. So if you go north, you'll hit the border in the center of the lake. I was pretty darn close to Canada where I was born. Anyway, I think you'll be just fine. If there was a problem, a big problem, people wouldn't be proudly flying their Canadian flags all over the place. All right. Jeff Engel says, back on the road. Katie Hoke says, hey, Rob, regarding a hit, does anyone you've seen so far know how the cartilage deteriorated? Yeah. Sure. It's arthritis. Yeah, it's arthritis. And I think that's the case most of the time. But again, no, not an expert here. Michael Schumann, it would be great if someone could invent an injectable replacement cartilage. They can just inject it right into the joint without doing hip replacement. Yeah, that'd be nice. that may happen someday. Donna Aparo says you're a good dad to your pets. Mark says, so sorry to hear about your HIV. Love your pets. God bless. Thank you, Mark. That's Mark Rollheiser. Christy Lena, nice to hang out with you all virtually. Love Dottie's happy wagging tail and both fur babies on the bed. Would you please share what veggies you cook with the hamburger meat for Dottie? Generally, peas and green beans, occasionally broccoli. Sometimes I'll add a little pumpkin. Naj, hi, Rob, Dottie, and George. Look like you interrupted their little plan for world. You interrupted their little plan for world domination. They're trying to act innocent. Oh, okay, gotcha. Ken Gray, nice start for the day. Chuck Brunton, the Clean Bowl Club. Anyone with critters likes to see an empty bowl. Yeah, Dottie, seconds and the meal is gone. Ken Gray says, good pet advice too. This was all on yesterday or last night's Another Nomad Monday. Cuddy router for cellular internet. That's got to be 2 or 3 years old. Mr. Kason says I was getting 58 down and 19 up on my Cuddy. I added a waveform outdoor antenna and it's now getting 243 down, 71 up. I live way out in the country. It's either this LTE pack or Starlink. I'm very happy with my setup. Yeah, that's good for you. Peppermint Patty. Hey, like the Peanuts character. New subscriber, I'm sorry about your hip. I commend you for walking the fur babies. I've been hearing other channels that the vibe at Quartzsite has changed. More sketchy people and thievery. Have you heard anything of this? Rethinking my plans of coming next year. Okay, so I have not experienced direct or indirect problems of people getting things stolen or crime here any more than any other year, which is none for me and the crowd that I hang around with. I think that the issue with creating a judgment about how things are doing by YouTube videos is YouTubers like myself, we have a very narrow slice view of what's going on out here because we're not really professional news gatherers. So a YouTuber that has an experience in their camp or near their camp with a theft does a video on it and they get a lot of views. And the impression is maybe created that there's more crime happening here than prior years. I can't say they're wrong any more than I can say I'm right. I can tell you that this is my 4th year here. I've had no more concern this year than in prior years. I've left my camp plenty of times. I have things that people would love to steal outside here. I've never had anything stolen. That could change today. I have no idea. But the idea that there's been some big fundamental shift in safety and crime here, I think it's not true. And every year that rumor goes around. And by this time next year, we'll have the crime statistics that are official, that are at least the crimes that are reported to the police. And it'll probably be like it's been every other year, a very small number of crimes for a huge number of people that are here in the winter. And keep in mind that probably during that 2 big weeks in January is from when most of it probably happens because there's the most opportunity. That's probably when it happens. But I think it would be very sad if what you're seeing on YouTube is preventing you from coming out here and enjoying this area because I love it so much here. I'm going to keep coming. And I hate to see you miss out because you've watched a few YouTubes that are concerning. Four Kings says, yes, the grocery outlet in Blythe. If you like breakfast sauces, pick up the Brooklyn Lynx breakfast sausage. They are fantastic. Made in Brooklyn. It's a great store. JB Madera, always enjoy your videos. I headed in for my second total reverse shoulder at the end of the month. I asked the surgeon about hips since I heard you mention this in an earlier video, and he said the success rate is extremely high. Two of my athlete buddies had hips done this season, and both were fantastic. Both are almost pain-free in the hip. Good luck. Thank you. And Nancy Menderos, between 1 and 10, what is your pain level for your hip currently? Well, that's a great question. It's a little, right now, sitting right here, I don't have any pain. Zero pain. When I'm walking, when I'm ambulating, I'd say the pain is between a 2 and a 3, but it's constant when I'm in motion. When I like getting up from a seated position, there's a momentary spike to a 6 or 7. In bed, I get a spike to 6 or 7 every time I roll I'm a side sleeper. So when I move to my left side to my right side, vice versa, there's a momentary 6 or 7 spike. And that doesn't sound like a lot, but that 2 to 3 pain level when you're walking and moving over years is, it's exhausting. It really is exhausting. And it draws energy out of me over time. I didn't realize it was pain for probably the first year or so. I think I've really only fully acknowledged my pain in the past 4 or 5 months. I would call it, I'm stiff, I'm sore. I would attribute a lot of it to old age, and I would call it stiffness instead of pain. Well, it's more than stiffness. It's definitely pain, and I'm acknowledging that now, and thank goodness I'm going to be able to do something about it. I'll thank you for watching today, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.